Hey guys, it's Maggie. Um, so first of all, sorry about the lighting. I'm in my room and it's currently dark out, so give or take. So I decided to do my white paper on disability income insurance policy. And what I decided to do is, since there's already a policy enact for disability income insurance, I decided to take a piece of that and break it down into how it could improve and also the steps and possible funding that could happen to help this policy improve, in my own opinion. Because, not from personal experience myself, but I've had relatives who had major problems with purchasing or trying to get disability income insurance because, in general, if someone decides to get disability income insurance, um, they want to be covered essentially if they become disabled or have a disability that's defined by the state law. So, to give a little introduction and background, um, I started out with looking at the official Social Security website, and currently over 10,000 individuals are beneficiaries under disability insurance. It is broken down into three categories. So you have disabled workers, spouses of disabled workers, and children of disabled workers. And with the category of disabled worker being the highest, it is also the lowest percentage of individuals who try to seek additional insurance that covers the rest of their bill that the disability insurance doesn't cover. Also, since that is the general view of the disability insurance, when you look at disability income insurance, it also refers to how much you make your income now and then how much you would be making if you became disabled and could not work anymore. So some people struggle with trying to be approved, and also the fact that their income, if it's you're only getting half of what you used to make until, like, if you become better or your disability just gets worse, but sometimes you can't stay on that insurance. So I decided to come up with a plan of how um, the law and also people can understand this policy better. And so, um, according to the National Association of Health Underwriters, disability income insurance is a form of protection for your future income. It guarantees to pay out a portion of your salary in the event you become unable to work because of injury. And it also states that it is the industry name for a plan that provides for periodic payments of benefits when a disabled insured is unable to work. So, in other means, if your disability is so severe that you cannot work, obviously, so they decide to take half of your income and distribute it to you. So, moving on into the factors of the policy, disability insurance in itself did not become a full law until around the mid 1950s. And so, the whole central idea that I've been brainstorming about is when you read the disability insurance policy, let alone the income and policy, it is very tedious and very strict to the point with the words that they use that the majority of individuals do not understand or grasp the concept. So they just try to get the insurance without fully understanding and reading the fine print. So I came up with the idea of trying to revamp and improve the policy by changing the wording. And I know that would be a really big deal with trying to change a policy that's been enacted for a long time, because I know how tedious that process can be involving the government, Congress, and stuff. So, well, obviously, like, by changing the wording is also like one of the major factors I believe in. I haven't totally come out with like a or thought of how I could push that forward or how it would make the policy or the wording like better. Like I can think of like ideas of how to reword things and to make a better sense of how to understand it, but the fact of pushing it and trying to make the policymakers revamp the law would be essentially really hard. Like, for example, if you took the Indian Child Welfare Act, that's been revamped numerous times, and it's taken a long, long time and a long process to get to where they are today. So, taking something that's been enacted for a long time essentially will create a lot of friction, which we see a lot of today, but it wouldn't be something new. Um, the disabilities factor, the insurance factors, it did not come into play until the years after World War II, um, in which it created the reality that public assistance paid higher benefits and served more people than did the possible disabled insurance law. So that's why it took so long for the disability insurance policy to take place, because a lot of people came home from the war with essentially a lot of injuries that permanently made them disabled. So they were stuck with paying high medical bills and not being able to live. So then that's how they decided, yes, we need to make this a policy to help these people in future times, for so they get this income insurance policy before they would go to war, and that if they came home disabled, they would be covered because they can't work. Um, the key factors that shape this disability income insurance policy is the fact that various individuals had no income to rely on when they became disabled. And so, because they couldn't be a part of the workforce or drive or do daily tasks, they couldn't pay their bills, and in return, they would claim bankruptcy. They had their valuables and possessions taken away, and some have become homeless. So, another key factor that shaped this policy is the money process. If individuals paid a little more out of their pocket to put away ahead of time to sit nicely if they do become disabled, they brought a huge perspective to individuals. And the last major key factor that shaped this disability income insurance is the other disability insurance policies affecting one another. So, if you're receiving Social Security disability insurance, the amount you receive from the Social Security income would be deducted from your private disability insurance payout, and that causes you not to receive the full payout you originally invested. So, as I stated before, the problem and disjuncture of this whole policy is the fact that it clearly tries to define what disability is under state law, and a lot of the wording is very outdated and very, to me, not only just to me, but a few others, is very confusing, and there's a lot of contradicting in there. So I think the major problem is how the policy is worded and how there's possible loopholes in it as well. Um, the problem states loudly that the fact that the current policy is defining disability as a person that generally defines someone who has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one major life activities. It doesn't state like mental health, or it does state mental impairment, but that's mostly relating to physical. So apparently, if you have to have something that's physical, then you can get this insurance, which creates disjuncture because here you are being over here, and here's the other side of the normal world that we are in. They're all being together, and here you are, you're over here feeling disjuncture and feeling separated from the environment, which obviously we don't want. And so that's why there's policies. Let's see. Oh, another form that can help heal a disjuncture that I wrote about in my white paper is this policy is educating and bringing more awareness of the various disability income insurance and general disability insurances. Many individuals are making the common mistake of applying for the wrong disability benefits and in return not covering their needs or being denied of any disabled insurance. So again, this becomes along with people not knowing what is out there for them and how to understand and grasp these really hard, not really hard, but very wordly policies and benefits that they could receive. I think the best way of improvement of disability income insurance that can heal disjuncture is rebranding and designing a better policy that fits with the general individual. Government assistantship could be created and become a possible gain a healing factor, and government assistantship can provide resources from numerous forms such as taxes, grants, donations, anything and everything. But when you go back to the tax issue, we already have taxes taken out of our paychecks. So why can't half those taxes go to benefit us in return for disability income insurance? Instead of us having to pay out of pocket each month, why can't the taxes that's already being taken out of our paycheck, like a quarter of it even, not even all of it, could go to that? So that's my suggestion. The ethical model I used that shaped my proposal is not just a utilitarian approach, but also I looked at the the market-based model. That was a major one I looked at as the strict equalitarianism, the equal distribution, and where the issue of what and how measured applied to all citizens. I use this approach because the disability income insurance, or any disability income insurance, basically, it defines what being disabled is. The policy decides who is worthy of the insurance, why not they are worthy, and the basic policy view of unchanging resources. So a lot of people are stuck on the past laws and they're strict to it, and that we need to abide by it and nothing can change because everything that changes only makes it worse. So basically, they're not being open minded. The consequences of the policy changing or this proposal is if there's an updated correction, the system's flaws are corrected by restricting benefits, so it can lead to public reaction that has occurred in the past and causing riots. The disability rules generally cause friction between individuals because the system applying strict pressure and having their country go downhill from the progress they've all made. Also, one of the major consequences is that only a portion of your salary is covered and will be paid in the event of being disabled. So this could possibly be where government funding can come into place that already is not, to help individuals pay the rest of their portion of their paycheck. And the tax rates have clearly risen in the past 10 years, which in turn can reflect on disability income insurance with guidance. So I gave my suggestions of how this policy could improve, and also different routes and various funding that they could take. So in conclusion, disability income insurance definitely has room for improvements in regards to helping individuals understand properly of how this policy works and the benefits they can receive. When you're looking ethically at each framework and mindset, there really is no right or wrong answer that could apply to this change, honestly, because we all have the right to speak up if we're not happy with the policy, which is the rights approach in the ethical model. And it would make a better understanding of what an individual is investing in their own hard-earned money. And but in reality, if it would have to go through numerous stages in order for the suggestion to even see permanent action, just like any other policy. So that's basically what I have come up with, and something that is very personal to me and I have a lot of opinions on, and I would wish to see this would happen, but who knows what the future brings. And that's about it, and I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving, and I look forward to reading your papers. Bye.